Hello family, welcome back. We are still at this conversation about the hard conversations, the questions we are constantly faced with, the issues that are only kept in the four walls, relationships. Where does it start? What do you want? What does the man want? What does the woman want? How do we show up? Are we right? Are we wrong? Please, for everything that you feel you need to comment, come to the conversation with us. Comment in the comments below. Keep us like ask the questions, give your opinions, and keep us going. So Tash, let me call Ramlah. I'm much easier with the Ramlah that I'm used to.
It's alright.
We were talking about the fact that being an assertive woman in this space of even relationships, because I feel like at work the structure kind of sometimes you may face a lot of resistance with like this. I face it actually. This one is very assertive, but I'm like, there is only me in this space, and I would like to contribute in my best self. So it's very hard. I have found it very hard for me to act, to be I feel like I am challenged to be someone else in another space, then be myself. Now you be yourself. Now you be someone else. Now you be yourself. So yeah, and in my relationship, the same thing. I feel like the hardworking Carol, please, that one I want. Please make sure that it is exaggerated. The patient person, please. Now when the assertive one is like, I'm questioning status quo, I want accountability. Somehow, be a woman. The statement, be a woman. What do you think that the world expects of the woman, the assertive woman of today, who we both represent? Like, you want to ask the questions and learn. What do you think the world today expects of the woman? Or what's the conversation around it?
The conversation around that woman that we both represent, I've come to realize that I think it's best we stay who we are. Me, Carol, if I like Carol, I should be able to take Carol, the assertive Carol, and the other Carol. Like, that is who you are. Yeah. Because changing yourself, for me, will rob you of somebody else who wants the other version of you. So if I can have you as a whole, yes, I am good to go. Because like I said, I have been both. Much as I am this assertive, I had to sort of coil myself, diminish, to sort of be accommodated somewhere. Yeah. And at the end of the day, all for what? So over time I've learned it's okay to be me. Yeah. And then I will attract the right people, those who want me for me. Because if I'm shining in this department, because you're like, oh, Carol is, is a go forward chick, and whatever we need to be done, Carol is the right person. Yeah. You want her. And then on the day she's going to come and ask you about the same activity or the same, you sent her for, you like, don't be that. So
I think you bring actually a good question. In a relational space, my perspective, one informed by my experiences, is like, one, knowing who you are is important. Like, knowing that there are certain things I will stand for. There are certain things I can compromise. I believe relationships are also compromise spaces. Yes, like, there will always be, because you are two people from different walks of backgrounds, also they are different genders by nature. You will always have to,
if even with your siblings,
you have to understand each other.
You have to understand each other. And much as you are born and bred in the same home, you're different. So
but I just feel like we have to be able to draw the line. Where does compromise end? Where does me disappearing start? I think for me that's the thin boundary. Like that thin boundary. And sometimes it's hard. Like, you're trying so hard to be the right person for another relational human being, and you are lost in. And it's funny that from my experience has been that I used to be this bubbly. I am bubbly. I like what I like. I go for what I like with a passion. But I learned that sometimes as you're going for what you like, if it is in relational space, if it's in conflict with your partner's goals, then I think being able to put down your goals and see how they are married is important. But something in a relationship in our day-to-day, because I think, in my view, the male mind was the planner, you know, like when you marry somebody, they will plan for us, they will lay out the vision. So I still have a very, I'm still uncomfortable to say that vision could not be laid out by two in this day. Like, it's okay to supplement, and then when you run, it's hard to say I'm running with a vision that I don't like I am married, but in my head, my heart of hearts, I don't believe in it. It's hard to run with that vision. But if I can say, okay, fine, my guy or my boyfriend, this is what they want, and I'm asking you to marry maybe something that I want, and then this can be our vision. I think for me, that's the conversation all couples, whether you're in a relationship starting, you should have. Of course, when you're starting, there's a lot of, oh my god, I love you so much, butterflies, and then you just don't even talk about the real things. We are saying, guys, talk about the real things. Know where you're headed in life, and you don't need to know, like, you don't need like to know everything, but at least have a roadmap of what you want. This is what just the dream to achieve. Even just a dream. Meet halfway. Like, of course, don't expect, ladies, don't expect the man to carry the whole, you know, load. No. You have your goals, he has his goals, but how you marry them into each other is what makes you, you know, the power couple or the it. What about if you are that strong lady who's like, you know, I don't let a guy carry, and then another lady said, hey, for me, the way I identify as the one who wants the guy to carry all the things. That is why to this day, the marriage and divorce bill or act or proposed, it is still a proposal, because the wants, the wants and the desires, the haves and the have-nots, all those things, we are failing to. Generally speaking, my view is, one, when two people meet, you can't say women are like this, you can't say men are like this. Don't generalize. You have to be able to meet your person, engage at a deeper level, at an intimate level. You know, intimacy is not just physical. It's also like, into me, you see. Talk about the plans, the kids you want, the life you want, and be honest when you feel like this person may not. But those are the conversations may not bond. People don't waste your time. It's okay to say you are a good person on Jagala, physically I get it, you are attracted to me, but when I look at the things you're going on, I think I've seen evolving stories of people get into a relationship, they've already said that they don't even know where they are heading, both of them. Of course, as you're like, you know, covered the way with you. But now when you get someone said, unplanned things are the best, they say. Until you get there, you're 6 months or 9 months pregnant, and this nigga is like, honey, I was not ready for that. Me, I still have my 2 years or 4 years of chasing money. The child is going to, you know. But you see, these are the conversations you ought to have had at the beginning, but because you were butterflies, over what you were loved, so there is a lot of feeling hormones around feelings, and now you're stuck somewhere. So you're calling him all these, you know, names. He's not responsible, or maybe he's not responsible, or he is, but because you did not, because I want to believe if you had the conversations, even when that happens, when you get challenges, there's always a way around it. Like because you agree, like, no, we had, you know, planned to do ABCD, but because it didn't work like that, this is what we should do. But if you don't have the conversations, trouble. Speaking for my sister, I'll add that, just speaking for my imaginary sister, there is many people that have conversations and there is a lot of silence. I've had ladies who say, I went and I probed, and he was just as if not. I've had a guy say, I probed, I was trying to have this conversation, and she was evasive. Sometimes this comes from like just being ill. You are ill-equipped for a relationship. You are like you are a good human being, you have a good heart, but you are ill-equipped. So it's a responsibility of both parties to say, if I don't know, I need to know. There's resources, guys. There is a lot of information, both filtered but unfiltered. I say you can start by reading books. You can start by engaging a person you admire. And I know when you engage, you be a little bit, you filter, because it's not like everything they will tell you is the right thing. Sometimes our culture, sometimes our parents tell us things and they hide a lot. Like they hide a lot. You're like, why did she or he not tell me about this part?
They speak in parables. By the time you decipher it, oh my god.
Yeah, like by the time you're like, let me go back. You know, like I've had times when I have gone back to ask my mom in marriage. I ask her. I remember the other time, like at this point in our life, I saw as if this was happening, and I'm like, how did you deal with that space? You get me? Like, how did you deal? Maybe dad was going through stuff and there was rudeness. Because for me, I think for me, one of the most aching challenges in my relationship was conflict and how we handle conflict. The rudeness that is displayed. I felt like, you know, I was raised by a dad who most of the time when he was mad, he kept quiet. Well, now he's older, he can express himself. Like, I have the permission to express myself. But when he was I remember in my memory space, I never heard him much. You'd hear the conversation in their bedroom, you know, like, today things are not okay. But it was not like as bluntly out there. So it was more like, let's protect the kids. But I just remember that he was more quiet and reserved. So in a way, I would be like, if you're ready to talk, I like to go deep in conversation.
Conversation is key. One thing I also realize, what I think we should also pay attention to is that I used to think communication is important.
Yeah.
But comprehension.
Yeah.
Is vital.
That is too much English. You are meaning what? Comprehension.
You will speak and speak and speak.
Yeah.
But whatever you've spoken is taken in face value. Like, they're not hearing you.
They're not hearing you. Yes,
and it is tedious because that is the point you get, like, you know what? I'm done.
Shouldn't that be a red flag? Especially when you are considering. Sure. Like, I feel like that is one of the things you should be like when I cannot talk, and they may have reasons why they are not good communicators. But either someone said, and I'm going to borrow their statement. They said, when you have such an issue, raise it. I feel like I'm going to say, make sure it's personalized. I feel like when I talk to you about something crucial, I don't feel like you are listening. Like, you are hearing me, but you're not listening.
Yeah, comprehension.
Yeah, you're not comprehending. You're not like, it's like you're a blank space of like, I'm just going to hold the space, but I will not even respond. And you know, the guys will always say, like, for us guys, we'll be hearing, but you know, like, when you're just there ramping, at least it's just good for us to switch off, because if we all talk, but is it an excuse? I say that I think it's important to even guys, I know that culture has shaped them to be who they are in our space, but it's your responsibility to be able to say, you have spoken this, these are my thoughts, and this is what I propose we could deal with. It's important to have the response. Without fear or favor.
I heard you, I was hearing you, but see, if you're hearing me and you're not responding, because at the end of the day, if maybe I'm saying, it could be an issue of maybe I'm late, or I make you get to work late. If you communicate and I say I'm hearing you, then maybe my response would be, okay, I'm sorry, let me try to improve or adjust my time management skills.
Let me make it better. We are talking about vision.
Exactly.
Our vision for life.
So that way, when I say I'm hearing you, you are seeing my efforts, then you appreciate it. Okay, yeah, she was bad, but I see she's making strides to become better at time management. Other than I communicated like, teacher to some, but we keep getting late. It becomes, I don't know, it doesn't make sense at some point.
My issue is that do you think that it's important to have our significant, your boyfriend be the standard, like his words be the standard for right or wrong?
No, he could be wrong. So if you take his word for the gospel truth, then you're going to end up in a ditch that you probably could have avoided. I mean, I want to believe I'm not perfect.
Yes.
So are you.
Yeah.
So in the event that we acknowledge that, I need to hear you and you need to hear me. Yes. Not saying what Carol says is the gospel truth. We cannot question. No.
It's his way or
because you're the husband in the home. But you're very poor at finances, and you know your managing wife is good. But because you're the man, your word is final. So you blow up all the finances because you're the man, and whatever you say is final. had you given her chance because you know she's good, you appreciate she's good.
Yeah.
There's no, I don't see any harm in that.
My thing is, he may appreciate she's good, but it may be an ego thing that I can't be seen to fail.
Yeah.
So I am going to just, I think males have been raised to just be, I feel like, if I can speak for them for a bit, sometimes community has placed on them a lot of, you have to get it, you have to figure it out, you know. And sometimes I think that guys cannot say, here, honestly, I am blank, I'm going to find out, let's learn. I think that's just, it has to be a conversation. It has to be like a real conversation. So I think it's your responsibility as a couple to know where you're strong at, to know where you're weak at. And if you're weak, if I'm going to be the weak one and I will lead in something, then can I be equipped? Can we agree that we'll be all equipped and the leadership is informed? There's a lot of resources, people who have done it.
Yeah, the fact that you are growing to be equipped, that is a plus already. Like, at least that is a step in the right direction.
Yes.
My problem is you don't know, you don't accept that you don't know, and you want to drag everyone down.
But
which is wrong.
What about if this issue is beyond this face value? You know, like I want us to acknowledge that people have been raised in sometimes broken spaces. So they have a broken consciousness. Like what seems right to them is a broken version of the reality. You get it? What seems right to them, and they can only bring that they can like understand, is a broken version of reality. So I always tell people, if you have read, if you have listened, if you have been in a broken space, understand what is your broken consciousness. We all actually, if you've been in families where stuff were not exactly as you might think, we have in different bits. It could be how I say, what expectations I have from a guy, what expectations I have from a lady. It might be like you think it's the right thing, but it's such a broken version.
It's wrong.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that we have the responsibility to understand what is broken. What's broken about my, how, you know, like they always say that many things that show up wrong in our mature life are things that are broken spaces in our childhood. Learn to normalize revisiting the young girl. Like when I was young, this happened. When I was young,
I feel like also society has normalized so many things,
which
are wrong, but because that is what society says, so we simply carry on, which is wrong. I think we need to now go back and retrace some of these things. We need to heal from so much and then carry forward, because when you're broken, you end up bleeding on people who didn't, like, you keep hurting.
Your wounds are just out there and causing. I always say broken people break others.
That's true.
And it's funny that it's such a it begins to be a compounding. You find a broken parents breaking children, those children breaking their children,
and I don't want us to blame our parents so much, because that is what whatever they, you know, how they raised us is what they knew. How they love is how they knew.
It's your responsibility to know and learn what could have been right. I embrace. What could have been gone wrong, I learn from. Let the challenge be a learning lesson. And now I'm starting from, I don't know, let me learn. There's someone who knows. I always say there's nothing on earth here that is new. Someone knows a part that you may be challenged with. Let's ask, let's normalize talking, guys. Let's normalize opening up. Let's normalize. And I'm not saying the whole, you know, I don't like the whole, I am, by the way, I may come up as like a very poppy person, but I'm private. I am very intentional with who
you open up to.
I open up to, because, you know, people are weird. Like, people can just take your truth and just break it further. And
in this era of social media,
so I always say
in someone, because you're sharing, because you need a ray of hope. Then someone just everything, and someone that is not even part of whatever you shared, they put it out there because maybe they want likes, they want to be popular, and we are seeing mental, a
lot of mental breaking. I just feel like There's a book by Brené Brown. I read a few times when I get a minute. There's a book by a very good author, Brené Brown. She's a renowned bestseller about relationships, who you trust in your space, how much you trust. Like, how do you decide that now I can go all around? You have to be able to have the responsibility for your own emotional health and well-being to say, this one I can trust. And they have proved themselves, not just, you know, like, it sees it, but like, especially when you're broken. Like, I'm just going to vomit on whoever shows up, and then it burns you. So it's very important to know who you're trusting, and then learn. The resources are there, the people are there, the therapists are there. By the way, even in our country, there are therapists, there are clinical psychologists.
They're expensive.
They're expensive. Yes. So what?
But seriously,
yeah,
you cannot afford a therapist.
Yeah,
find someone that you think you can trust, someone you can talk to, that will listen to you.
Yes.
Because when you bottle up whatever that hole, whatever it is,
yes,
will get full at some point.
Yeah.
And you won't see it coming.
It will break and you will explode. And you will explode on everyone around you. Exactly. You won't see it coming. Take responsibility. I also like our culture. Our culture is like we are freer in our culture space. It's either your family member, it's your friend, it's your brother, it's your sister, religious leader. There's so many people you can talk to that still play therapy.
Yep.
And give you just sometimes a listening ear, perspective. So it can be an informed decision. Let's take up all these resources, these advantages, and we will keep the conversation going. Please keep the comments, keep suggest.
We are learning and learning and
yes,
learning.
Just freely give your opinions and your questions even as we unfold. But this is just the start of many more. We're gonna keep this conversation. We will do everything else Carolliving, but we'll keep this conversation going, because I felt like, you know, sometimes when you're in this space, you're bombarded with all these issues. Like, you know what, instead of just keeping quiet, let's talk about it and hopefully change someone's life.